Good morning and welcome to the daily news trends on SSiTV Africa. 120 cases of sexual abuse of learners by teachers. The South African Council of Educators says in 2019, South Africa recorded 209 cases of corporal punishment and 122 cases of sexual abuse of learners by teachers. Says Representative George Murawusi was addressing the South African Human Rights Commission's hearing into bullying, corporal punishment and sexual relationships between educators and learners in Polokwane. The hearing on corporal punishment and sexual relationships between teachers and learners come after a bullying incident at Mbwili High School in Thohoyandou a few weeks ago. The incident led to a grade 10 learner, Lufuno Mavunga, taking her life. The grade 10 learner committed suicide after a video showing her being assaulted by a fellow learner went viral on social media. Israel-Palestine ceasefire comes into force. A ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, the Islamist movement which controls the Gaza Strip, came into force early Friday after 11 days of deadly fighting that pounded the Palestinians' enclave and forced countless Israelis to seek shelter from rockets. Celebrations were heard at Gaza streets in the minutes after the truce began as cars honked their horns and some guns were fired in the air. AFP journalists said, while in the occupied West Bank, joyful crowds also took to the streets. With no alert sounding in Israel to warn of incoming Hamas rockets, the ceasefire appeared to be held in the early hours of Friday. Nomakhule Gigaba's testimony adjourned due to serious security concerns. The chairperson of Commission of the Inquiry into the State Capture, Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, has decided to adjourn Thursday's evening testimony due to what the Commission labels serious safety concerns. Nomakhule Gigaba, the estranged wife of the former Finance Minister Malusi Gigaba, was giving testimony at the Commission. Gigaba says her husband Malusi is lying in a quest to protect the Gupta family. She continued to spill the beans on the alleged corruption relationship that Malusi had with the Guptas. Phumzile van Dam resigns from DA. Phumzile van Dam has resigned as a member of the DA and member of parliament. She served as a member of parliament for 7 years. Van Dam was also the spokesperson of the party from 2014 to 2018. She says she left the party due to a clique of individuals rather than a racist party. Asia's shares perk up as receding inflation fears lift Wall Street. Asian stock rose on Friday, setting the rein up for a weekly gain as investors tempered fears about hot inflation and prospects of an early tapering of stimulus by the Federal Reserve. Japan's Nike jumped 1% while MSCI Broad-Set Index of Asia Pacific shares outside Japan added 0.6%. Taiwan's tech-heavy stock index climbed 1.8%, leading gains in the region, while Chinese blue chips added 0.3%. For the week, an index of stock across Asia Pacific was set for a 1.9% advance. Games should be cancelled or postponed. Nearly 70% of Japanese firms want the Tokyo Olympics either cancelled or postponed. A Reuters survey found underscoring concerns that the Games will increase coronavirus infections at a time when the medical system is under heavy strains. With just 9 weeks to go before the Games, states of emergency have been imposed in much of Japan until the end of the month to counter a spike in infections that has resulted in a shortage of medical staff and hospital beds in some areas. The country's vaccination program has also been particularly slow, with just 4% of population inoculated, the lowest rate among the group of 7 nations. The corporate survey conducted May 6 to 17th showed 37% of firms were in favor of cancellation, while 32% wanted postponement. Thank you for tuning in on the Daily News Trends.